I'm Lisa Kohn. I'm the author of To the Moon and Back, A Childhood Under the Influence, and I'm going to take you on some behind-the-scenes tours of what's in the book and what's in my childhood. And this is the Manhattan, the building I grew up in. It has a nice name, but it looks kind of skeezy, and it always has looked kind of skeezy. If you read the book, this is where my high school boyfriend and his friends would walk down the hallway. They would walk like this because it smelled from the kitchen of the bad Indian food, the chickens and cats the super raised in the basement, and the urine in the hallways. So this is the building where it all happened. We lived on the 4th floor of the building, and in the front of the building, which is really good because there's a buzzer system now, and it was there, but it never worked. So in order to get in, when people would come visit, they would have to go to the payphone, if anybody remembers what a payphone is. Go to the payphone on the corner, call up, and we'd open the window and we'd throw the keys down to them. And sometimes they get lost in the garbage, and sometimes they get lost in the snow, but that's how they got in. They'd unlock the door and they'd come up themselves up to the 4th floor. Although we were on it's the 4th floor, but as I say in the book, the elevators were on like 3.5 and 4.5. So you either get off at 3.5 and walk up a half, or you get off at 4.5 and walk down a half. It was kind of weird. And the other story that just came to mind is Robbie, my brother, had snakes for a while. And one got out one time, and my dad was walking up from the elevator at 3.5, and he saw the snake going down the banister, coming down to him. So yeah, it all happened here at 62nd Avenue. The funny thing about New York City, and especially these villages, I have a memory on almost every street corner, and right across there is Block Drugs. If you've been on my website, you've seen it. Block Drugs has so many interesting memories for me. There was the time when I was in junior high school and I had my period, and I went to Block Drugs to get sanitary napkins, only my hair was just a little longer than this, and I go up and I'm asking for help, and they're like, "Hi, little boy, how can we help you?" And it's quite awkward and weird. And the other real memory of Block Drugs is after Danny had his stroke, that's where we got his meds when he came home from the hospital. So it's really like my childhood, my caring for my dad, it's all wrapped up in good old Block Drugs, which is still there. So now we're in front of the Cube on Astor Place. As I said, New York City, almost every street corner, and especially East Village, has memories for me, and I do consider the Cube kind of the delineation between the Village and the East Village. So the Cube, first thought that comes to mind is when we're little, and we're walking with Danny, my dad. So this was Crazy Street, and Crazy Street would make you act crazy if you knew who you were, if you knew what was going on. So we would take on aliases and call each other different names, but somehow it's still always new. And so Danny would swing us around and make us walk backwards, because again, my parents are 20 years older than me, so when I was 5 and 6, he was 25 and 26. They were having babies, so he was still playing. The other memory that comes to mind is, so I went to Stuyvesant, and there was this thing called Sing. And Sing was when each grade put on a musical, wrote it and directed it and put it on, and it was a competition, and the seniors always won. But my junior year, there was a brilliant, call out to Steve, brilliant guy in our class who wrote original music and original lyrics for our play junior year, and we won. And we came marching down, because I was on 15th Street then, marching down, and we turned the Cube to celebrate winning. And the third memory I have, so right behind us is Cooper Union. And one summer, somewhere in college, sometime when I'm home, I decided to clean out my stuff. And I cleaned out all my stuff and I put it down in the garbage in front of the building. And back then people really went through garbage, right? So that night, it's Saturday night, I'm walking out, gonna go out, and we're walking down Astor Place, and there's people selling stuff on the street, and I look down and I go, oh, that's a cool shirt, and that's my shirt, and that's my button, and that's my other shirt, and there was all my stuff lying on the ground, and it looked good, and I wanted to buy it back, which is just what's so weird. So this is the Cube, a lot of memories. In the New Yorker Hotel, it's now a hotel, but I'm convinced that the Moonies are still here and that the people here don't know that, and if they knew that, well, So this is the scene, the balcony. I come here and so many memories flash through my mind. All the church holidays were here, so we'd be looking for my mom or hanging out and playing with Reverend Moon's kids or sliding down the escalator downstairs. And we were just in the grand ballroom where honestly the logo of the church is still up on the wall and nobody notices, and that's the room where my mom got matched to my then stepfather. There's so many memories of like church and being here. I feel it in my gut and my heart is kind of pounding just walking in here. It took me decades to walk in here again and reclaim it, but now it just makes me smile and kind of laugh and feel good about where I am now.